Hello, G Block Media class. So I just wanted to go over some of the assignments for this week. I am extending podcasting into this week. I'm not sure if it'll take the whole week to complete the podcasting project because I know I got 3 great podcasts from Olivia, Sylvia, and Logan. So I'm hoping this for the rest of the class, we'll try to wrap this up halfway through. But let me just kind of go over what I put in classwork. So if you're here, navigate to classwork, scroll down to week 12. Okay. Most of you have finished the kind of earlier, smaller assignments as far as the podcasting analysis and the ed puzzles. Okay. So I would say the majority of the class is working on the podcasting script template. And if you go to the template, a couple of things. One, you first have to have a topic idea. So think about something that you would talk about, off the top of your head for forever, like something that you're really passionate about and could talk, to your friends or family about. Okay, and then come up with a question about that topic. And if you're kind of still stuck on, some type of topic, think about something that you would want to know. So you could even research a topic that you've not even know much about. And then you could, from your research, you could create a podcast. If you are stuck on the topics, that is listed in week 11. So podcasting topic ideas. There's a Google Doc right here, okay, for that. If you're in the middle of working on this, if you just started it, or at least you have a topic idea, this is how the Google Doc is kind of formatted. Coming up with a theme or driving question centered around your topic. The introduction section. So in this box here, you would write out what you would say for your introduction. So, for instance, welcome to Movie Mania, our podcast about movies that are streaming currently. I'm Mrs. Chilton. You would introduce yourself and you would tell your audience what you're going to be talking about. Okay. And then there's that little part of the call to action. So the call to action is really, in a lot of podcasts, they say, well, if you, like and subscribe, or if you want to know more about, if you like what you see here on this episode, give us a rating. So that things like that is what a call to action would be. Okay. And it's used not only in podcasts, but in a lot of things like commercials. So it's something that, we'll get into a little bit more. A lot of the standard format for podcasts, there's usually a music jingle right after the introduction to what the theme of that day's podcast or that episode is going to be. And then I broke this up for 3 main talking points. So for your topic 1 header, your main point is you would kind of set up your overall theme of the show and discuss your first talking point. So maybe you decided to pick, your podcast is going to be on streaming services, like the best movie streaming services out there. And maybe, you're looking at Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus as the 3 talking points that you want to talk about. Okay. So it's kind of like an outline. So you would have your main header talking point, and then maybe some supporting subtopic points. Okay. You would write in this box, you can write out in full sentences what you would say, or you could kind of write bullet points and kind of use that as a guideline. Okay. So again, that would be for your first topic header. Your conclusion here in this box would be concluding that topic, where you're kind of you end one topic and you say, coming up, after the break, we'll be talking about, talking point number 2. Okay. And then here's the space where you could put in information for talking point number 2. Okay. And then talking point number three, again, you could go right into talking point number three, write a little bit about that third aspect of your theme. And then your outro and conclusion. So for your outro, you're going to kind of summarize what you talked about and have a conclusion. So you want to kind of wrap up the show. You want to leave your audience, with some type of message or takeaway that they can leave thinking about. Okay. And then closing remarks, usually, if you had any guests that helped you out, you could thank them for their time. And then you might want to have a final call to action. So, hey, give these shows a try on Hulu, or you could also talk about like maybe a future episode. Okay. Um, and or you could say like and subscribe again. Okay. And then usually there's some closing music. So going back to here, that would be the podcasting script template here. Okay. So once you have that sort of outlined, either in bullet points or full sentences, you should turn that in. And then the final part of this is to create your own podcast. So there are some three different ways that you can do this. You can use Anchor FM, which is a cool little podcasting app style website that you can use. You could record on Flipgrid, just like you've done with the About Me. You could do Screencastify and put up a slide. I was really impressed. Olivia had put for her podcast on the benefits of bike riding, a nice visually looking Google slide with embedded a little YouTube music link that she could play as she was talking about and segueing between the different segments in her podcast. I also was really impressed with Sylvia with you having two different guests coming in and talking about your topic theme. So it was really interesting. And Logan, you did a great job as well. Kind of going off of your outline and using Flipgrid to create your podcast. So I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. Logan, Sylvia, and Olivia, since you did finish that, your podcast, I was going to give you a break, at least for the beginning today, Monday, but you could take a look at our next our next unit coming up on public service announcements and commercials. There's some good videos here, and there's some examples of what Hudson students have created in the past, and some professional public service announcements and commercials. Or if you'd like, you could go on forward and record another podcast. So that's your choice for at least for Monday. And we'll see if we can get everybody else in the class wrapped up with the podcast by, I would say by Wednesday at the latest. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or talk to Mrs. Wolf, and she can check in with you along the way. Okay. All right. Sounds great. And I will look forward to listening to your projects.